Katie, would you like to introduce us to your babies?
Yes, I would, to my children. So these are traditional Tibetan singing bowls. And there are lots of bowls out there on the market that you can get, but the way to tell an authentic bowl is often by the hand-beaten marks that you'll find. So I was fortunate enough to source mine from Lama Tenda, who works in the Medicine Buddhist Centre, and he's been getting them from a Nepalese family for generations. And the important things with Tibetan bowls is not just the sound that they make, but when they're created, that they're created with a healing intention, a very specific intention. So very different energetically, and very important if you intend to work with bowls as a healing practitioner, as opposed to if you're just happy to use the bowl for your own purposes. For your own meditation, then a machine-made bowl or other bowl might be okay. Anyway, so these are my babies. So as for how they make me feel, bowls are made from the earth, so they're made from metal, so they're often very grounding. I found them very effective to settle high energy or anxious people in personal sessions, but in the group sessions, the deep sounds, particularly the deep bowls, can help really bring people into their bodies and give them a felt sense of the sound. So I'll give you an idea. When they're struck with a mallet, they will emit a much lower vibrational sound, a deeper sound. That will resonate long after the initial strike, and this is how Lama Tenda describes. If the sound does not continue to carry and go, he can tell whether the bowl is authentic or whether it's tired or needs to be retired or kept. Struck with, I won't say struck with a mallet. A great thing in a documentary I heard once was that we never strike the bowl, we invite the bowl, we invite the tone, which I really loved. Smaller bowls, higher frequency. And Tibetan bowls will release and resonate multiple tones. So they each have a bass tone, but then they will produce a harmonic tone. So one bowl, some people will ask, what key is that? It's irrelevant. The bass note will be a certain key or certain tone, but then the harmonics might be 2, 3 or 4 on top of that. So wonderfully grounding and calming.
Beautiful. Do you sing with your Tibetan bowls, or do you sing with your...
I used to. When I started, I used to tone with my Tibetan bowl, and I would channel toning for that. But it's not something I do at the moment, but because I work intuitively, that can change at a moment's notice depending on the group and what's needed. So sometimes it's probably the answer. She's beautiful, isn't she?
Absolutely gorgeous.
So this is a crystal bowl, not a crystal ball. That's a different interview. So I find that the feeling of the crystal bowl is a very clarifying, very cleansing, very clearing, works with the energy field. I will often feel it up the back of my spine, the back of my head, tickling the crown region for me. People will experience it differently. As to how I interact with it, many people have lots of different crystal bowls, and I acquired this bowl
about 5 years ago. But I've never been guided to get more than one. I just felt like this one, we had such a strong relationship with each other. I didn't want another one. So sometimes I will sing with the bowl intuitively, but other times I will use it in between other sounds in the sound journey just to bring people back into the space, or in some ways it will send them off. But for me, the experience of it is very cleansing, clarifying, and really sweeps through the entire energy system. At least that's how I experience the sound.
Now you have a lovely pan drum there, or hang drum as they're sometimes called.
Yes, so they can go by many names depending on who makes them and where they come from. Hand pan, harmonic drum, hang drum, pan drum, steel tongue drum or steel drum. So I call mine a hand pan, and this is how it sounds. This is my newest baby, possibly my favourite child. You're not supposed to say that in front of the other children, but the last child is usually the favourite. So I only acquired this beautiful instrument about a year and a half ago after falling in love with the hand pan when I first saw someone play it on YouTube 10 years ago. I thought, I want one of those. And back then you had to wait 2 years to get them, and they cost tens of thousands of dollars, and I didn't have time or the money for any of that. Anyway, fast forward another 10 years and I had the money and the price had come down, and then I went. As to how it makes me feel, or probably more accurately how people report that they respond to the sound, is that it will send them off on their own journey. So I affectionately call it my UFO, and I think it has that ability to just really transport people out into a deeper space of meditation, or for many people it will begin an astral journey, but really just takes them out of themselves. So unlike the other instruments that will earth you or really clarify you and interact with the body, this seems to transport people. And for me, I find that too. I experience the sound very much like I'm doing the wave water movement. That's how I find myself floating along where I hear the sound needs to go next. And very relaxing, and I love losing time when I play the hand pan.
Beautiful. Well, Katie Underwood, thank you very much for sharing your story with us and also introducing us to your babies.
You're welcome.
It's been a pleasure.
And thank you.
Thank you very much.